What if the most honest person in Grand Theft Auto 5 was the unhinged homicidal maniac? In a city of liars, con artists, and hypocrites, Trevor Philips stands out as a beacon of brutal, unfiltered truth. He's a monster, but he's a monster who knows exactly what he is. This video isn't just about his violent rampages. It's about the paradox he represents. We'll dissect the calculated deceit of every other major character, from Michael's midlife crisis of lies to the corrupt charade of the FIB, and explore how, in a world built on satire and hypocrisy, the most psychotic character might just be the most authentic. Of all the unhinged, blood-soaked maniacs in the Grand Theft Auto universe, one stands out, not for his sheer brutality, but for a bizarre, paradoxical quality: his honesty. Trevor Philips. In the glittering, hypocritical cesspool of Los Santos, a world built on lies and curated online personas, Trevor might just be the only person telling the truth. It's a strange thought, isn't it, that the most monstrous character is also the most genuine? Los Santos is populated by people desperately trying to be something they're not. Michael DeSanta is a retired bank robber pretending to be a family man, miserable in a mansion bought by betraying his crew. Franklin Clinton is an ambitious hustler who preaches leaving the game while taking bigger and bloodier jobs. They are liars, living lives of quiet desperation. And into this world of facades walks Trevor, a human hurricane who knows he's a monster and makes zero apologies for it. While Michael and Franklin wrap their violence in justifications, Trevor is brutally, terrifyingly honest. He is a bad person, and he'll be the first to tell you. In a world drowning in duplicity, is the man who embraces his own monstrosity the only one not living a lie?
Let's pour one out for Michael DeSanta, or should I say Townley. The man's living a lie so deep he needs a GPS to find his own soul. He's the poster boy for the midlife crisis, a retired bank robber drowning his misery in expensive whiskey by a pool he doesn't deserve. He's got the mansion, the fast car, the trophy wife, and a family that despises him. It's the American dream rendered as a hostage situation. This pathetic life wasn't an accident. It was bought and paid for with the ultimate betrayal. 9 years ago, Michael cut a deal with a corrupt FIB agent to sell out his crew. He faked his death, left Trevor to think he was dead, and got their accomplice Brad thrown in a federal pen. He traded loyalty for a life of quiet desperation. The irony is so thick you could choke on it. Michael traded a life of authentic, albeit psychotic, crime for a gilded cage where he does nothing but complain. He lectures Franklin about making something of himself while his own fortune is built on blood money. He is the architect of his own misery. And the crushing weight of that deception is the real story of Michael DeSanta.
Franklin Clinton wants out of the hood, and he's willing to step on anyone's throat to do it. He's the voice of reason, constantly telling his best friend Lamar to get out of the game, usually right before jacking a high-end car. His entire philosophy is a contradiction. He wants to escape being a gangster, but his method of escape is to become a much better and more successful gangster. His relationship with his friends is a masterclass in pragmatic duplicity. He lectures Lamar for his gang-banging mentality, then drives the getaway van. He sees Michael as his golden ticket, a twisted father figure who can teach him how to graduate from petty theft to major league heists. He's not loyal to Michael, he's loyal to the idea of Michael. He's chasing an image of success, believing the fancy house and fast cars will somehow give his life meaning in a city that has none. He's just trading one set of hypocrisies for another, more profitable one.
Let's talk about the brains of the operation, Lester Crest. He presents himself as this awkward, put-upon genius who just wants to stick it to the man. But that whole persona? It's a carefully constructed mask for the most ruthless character in the entire game. Lester isn't just a hacker, he's a master puppeteer, and his favorite puppets are the stock markets. His assassination missions for Franklin are framed as vigilante justice, but the real motive is pure greed. Before each hit, he gives Franklin a tip on which rival stock to invest in, using murder as a tool for market manipulation. While the others are dodging bullets, Lester's sitting in his house watching the stock ticker and raking in sums that dwarf what they make. His awkwardness is camouflage. He's the ultimate capitalist predator, a man who understands the real power doesn't come from a gun, but from a well-timed stock trade.
You'd think the actual federal agents would be the good guys, right? Wrong. FIB agents Dave Norton and Steve Haynes make Trevor look like a choir boy. Norton is the reason Michael is even alive, having cut a deal to fake his death in exchange for a career boost. But his dirty little secret gets him blackmailed by his superior, Steve Haynes, a smarmy, power-hungry sociopath who hosts a cheesy reality TV show. Haynes uses this leverage to turn Michael's crew into his personal black ops team, forcing them to sabotage the FIB's rival agency, the IAA, not for justice, but for a bigger slice of the government funding pie. In the infamous by-the-book mission, Haynes forces Trevor to torture an innocent man, not because it's necessary, but because he can. These are the guys in charge, using criminals to do their dirty work, while pretending to uphold the law, proving that the biggest gang in Los Santos has a government seal.
All right, let's talk about the walking, talking, screaming embodiment of pure, uncut id, Trevor Philips. In the glitzy, hypocritical world of Los Santos, Trevor is a Molotov cocktail of truth. He is, without a doubt, a terrifying psychopath, but he's also the most genuine person in the entire game. Michael lives in a gilded cage of his own lies. Franklin is trying to escape one world of hypocrisy for another. They both wear masks. Trevor, his mask melted off years ago in a meth lab explosion. When he's angry, you know it, usually because someone's skull is meeting a curve. When he feels betrayed, he digs up his best friend's grave to confirm a decade-old lie. But this brutal honesty cuts both ways, revealing a shocking, almost childlike vulnerability. He kidnaps a gangster's wife and ends up genuinely caring for her. He's fiercely, if dysfunctionally, loyal. When Franklin is given the choice to kill either Michael or Trevor, Trevor refuses to help kill Michael, calling Franklin a traitor. Michael, on the other hand, readily helps hunt Trevor down. In a world of backstabbers, the psychopath is the one who holds true to his bonds. He's the unfiltered, unapologetic, rampaging id of Grand Theft Auto 5.
So, here we are. After digging through the filth of Los Santos, one uncomfortable truth remains. Trevor Philips, the meth-addled maniac, is the only honest man in the entire godforsaken city. Michael is a walking midlife crisis, drowning in the hypocrisy of a life he stole. Franklin climbs the social ladder by adopting the hypocrisies of his mentors. Trevor, on the other hand, well, he's Trevor. He doesn't pretend to be anything other than a violent, loyal, and brutally honest psychopath. He knows he's a monster and doesn't waste a single breath trying to convince you otherwise. What Trevor's character forces us to confront is the deeply unsettling nature of honesty in a society built on polite fictions. He embodies a terrifying kind of freedom, the freedom from shame, from social expectation, and from the exhausting performance of being someone you're not. He never apologizes for his violence. It's just who he is. In a universe saturated with phonies and backstabbers, the most unhinged character is the only one you can truly trust to be himself. So the final question is this: what does it say about the world when the only person with a recognizable moral compass, twisted as it may be, is the one who's completely out of his mind?
And there you have it. We've journeyed through the smog-filled streets of Los Santos, not just as players, but as moral detectives. We've seen how Michael lives in a mansion built on lies, and Franklin chases a dream with a forked tongue. In this city of smoke and mirrors, the most honest person is, paradoxically, the unhinged maniac. Trevor Philips, for all his terrifying meth-fueled chaos, is a hurricane of truth, in a world drowning in polite deception. So here's my challenge to you. Head down to the comments and tell me about the most two-faced character you've encountered in any game, the one that made Trevor look like a saint. And if this deep dive into the paradox of Trevor's psyche rearranged your brain cells in a good way, show some loyalty, unlike Michael, and hit that like button. For more character dissections that are more honest than a Trevor Philips enterprise, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for sticking with us through the mayhem.